I'm talking to John Gardiner, finally published. We've written about your former books.
I've had two books before this one, both self-published. And Memories for Sale in My Left Hand and Backwards Upside Down Life, those two books, yeah.
And now you have Life in the Deep End, Stories from the Soul, and a publisher found you.
That's right. On the internet, somehow through Facebook, a publisher, Manor House Publishing down in Ancaster, down by Hamilton, found me last spring, and so I was just sort of getting ready to kind of retire from everything, and now I've got a new book out, and things are looking good, yeah.
You're into your 70s now, and you just retired from playing bass. We saw some of your last shows last year with Spirit of the 60s. You were trying to slow down, but this ramps things up because now you are nominated for Giller Prize and Trillium Book Award.
Yes, that's kind of a big thrill. That's one of the things about having a publisher, an established publisher, is they can enter you in these big contests that they have in Canada for writing and for literary things, and it's just really important. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day that, really in Canada, in order to have a successful book, it helps if you can pick up one of these awards or even get some recognition through one of the awards. And so that's kind of what my goal has been, is to try and get into some of these big contests in Canada and, I don't know, maybe if I'm really lucky, make some kind of an impression.
Well, I think you've made a bit of an impression because you're number one on Amazon for Canadian short stories.
I have been. I'm not anymore, but I was for a while. Yeah, I was for a few days, actually. So we don't know yet, my publisher and I, how that's going to translate into actual book sales. But it was kind of a little bit of a bragging rights thing, I guess, for a few days anyway.
Let's talk about this new book. It's 19 short stories, and these are for any age?
Not really for smaller children, like younger children. I say teens and up could read most of the stories. I think would enjoy them. And I sort of call them every person stories because I have had people in the past with a grade 6 education read my work and really enjoy it. Like an older person who had just finished grade 6 in school, and I've had a person with a university degree in English literature read my stories and enjoy them. So I like to think they appeal to a really wide range of folks, and I'm very pleased about that.
So you've been writing since high school. You started The Probe, and was that in Hanover?
I was in Hanover. That's where I grew up, and at Hanover District High School. When I was in grade 12, I got approached by my English teacher who asked me if I would be interested in starting sort of what we used to call in the old days sort of an underground newspaper. I was very interested. He picked me out, I think, just because I had long hair and I sort of looked like a radical. So he picked me out, and for a couple of years, my last 2 years of high school, I was lucky enough to work on the newspaper, and I got part of my English mark in high school for that. What really tied in nicely was the other part of my English mark came from doing an independent reading course, and I just read all of the contemporary literature from that era, like Kurt Vonnegut and John Updike and Tom Wolfe and Ken Kesey and a whole range of just really great authors from that era, from the 60s and into the 70s. So I think that really helped me sort of in my formative years, like to really sort of establish who I was going to be as a writer.
Because you've done a lot of writing, especially around the Wallaceburg area. You were in the Wallaceburg News. You had CK Times for, a decade?
Yeah, for 10 years. Yeah, no, I've spent about 40 years in the newspaper, community newspaper business, and I really do think that did help shape me as a writer. There's no doubt about it. For one thing, it taught me to write dialogue really well, because what I did for 40 years basically was interview people and then write down what they said. So I have a pretty good sense of how people talk. And of course, the other thing is, like, when I get writing, I can process a lot of information really fast, because that's what you have to do in the community newspaper business. You have no opportunity to sort of rewrite stuff and screw around with things. You have to crank the stuff out. So I think that helped as well. There's no such thing as a writer's block. Like when you're a newspaper person, you have to write all the time. It's just what happens.
You're also a cancer survivor. We talked about you being a musician. Have those life experiences been reflected in this book?
Not really. I wrote most of these stories before the cancer experience, but I just think I had a lot of life experiences anyway. I just think a lot of peculiar life experiences, and often when I write short stories, I sort of hinge them around an anecdote from my life, like something that's happened to me in my life somewhere, someone I've met, a conversation I've been in, stuff like that. That's what kind of lays the basis for a lot of my short stories.
And you can get this book on Amazon. It's available also by emailing you and on your publisher's website, and I can link that to this story.
Yeah. Manor House Publishing. And people can get a hold of me too. If they want it signed, they've got to get a hold of me. So, and I don't mind. My wife and I mail them out regularly, so it's not really a big problem. So either me or Amazon. It's nice if you buy them from Amazon, then my ratings go back up again.
Yeah.
But just whatever works.
Okay, well, congratulations on being discovered by a publisher finally, and your Amazon rating and everything to look forward to in the future. It was great talking to you today.
Thank you very much, Dana.